She had never intended to be there that night. Her friend, Maria, had called in tears, begging her to cover just this one cleaning shift at the upscale corporate tower downtown. It wasn't like Sophia hadn't done odd jobs before. Life hadn't handed her many comforts, and she'd learned early that responsibility often came without choice. So, with little more than a mop, gloves, and worn-out sneakers, she stepped into the lobby of a place that felt more like a luxury hotel than an office building. The marble floors gleamed under the chandeliers, and the faint scent of lavender cleaner hung in the air. Sophia felt out of place, like her mere presence might shatter the serenity. But work was work, and bills didn't pay themselves. She tied her hair into a loose bun, plugged in her headphones, and started on the top floor, a glass-walled executive suite with a skyline view of the city. She moved silently, careful not to disturb anything. The office was mostly empty except for a man seated behind a sleek desk, engrossed in his laptop. He looked up, surprised but not annoyed. "Working late too?" he asked with a tired smile. Sophia froze. She wasn't supposed to speak with staff, especially not at this hour. She gave a polite nod and kept mopping. But he kept talking. "You know, it's funny," he said, leaning back. "I've sat here for hours every night, and I've never really noticed the quiet until now. You'd think a place full of success would feel more alive, huh?" His words weren't meant for her, she thought. Just thoughts spoken aloud, but something in them felt real. Over the next few nights, Sophia kept returning, not just for the money, but because something about the man intrigued her. He was always there, alone, late at night. Some nights, he talked. Other nights, he simply nodded in acknowledgement. Slowly, a strange rhythm developed between them. She would clean, he would work. And in the silence, a connection began to form. One night, a storm rolled in. Thunder echoed, and rain pelted the windows. The power flickered, and the building fell into temporary darkness. Sophia dropped her mop with a startled yelp. "You okay?" The man's voice came from the dark. She laughed nervously. "Yeah, just not a fan of the dark in strange places." He chuckled and walked toward her, using the flashlight from his phone. "I've got backup lights in my office. Come on." For the first time, she stepped inside his sanctuary, a room with floor-to-ceiling windows, rich leather chairs, and an air of power. But it wasn't the office that struck her. It was him. He offered her tea from a hidden kitchenette and asked about her life, not in a polite, shallow way, but like he truly wanted to know. "Do you like cleaning?" he asked gently. She blinked. "It's not about liking it. It's what I do so I can go to school. Nursing. I'm close to finishing, just need a little more time." He seemed impressed. "You're determined. That's rare." She shrugged. "You do what you have to." The lights returned, but neither of them moved for a while. That night changed everything. Sophia began to open up. She told him about her childhood, about caring for her younger siblings when her mother fell ill. About the struggle to survive in a world that rarely made room for the poor. In return, he shared his own stories, of pressure, of being born into wealth but feeling isolated by it. He never told her who he really was. Just said his name was Daniel. Weeks passed. Their connection grew stronger, deeper. Sophia found herself smiling more, laughing again. She would finish cleaning early just to spend a few minutes talking with him. Their conversations danced between silly jokes and raw truths. She never Googled him, never asked questions. It didn't matter who he was. One Friday night, Daniel asked if she'd ever seen the city from the rooftop. "I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed up there," she said, laughing. "I won't tell if you don't," he winked. They climbed the final flight of stairs, and when the door opened, the city lights burst into view like stars scattered across the earth. She gasped. The wind lifted her hair, and for the first time in a long time, she felt free. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "So are you," he said softly. Sophia turned, heart thudding. In that moment, everything paused. And then he kissed her, gentle, hesitant, like he'd been waiting for permission from the universe. She didn't pull away. That kiss became the beginning of something fragile but real. But all good things eventually meet reality. One Monday morning, Sophia returned to the office to collect her paycheck from the cleaning agency supervisor, only to see Daniel, no, Mr. Daniel Blake, billionaire CEO of Blake Enterprises, on the cover of a business magazine at the lobby newsstand. Her hands trembled, her heart sank. It couldn't be, but it was. The man she had trusted, the man who had seen her at her most vulnerable, hadn't told her the truth. She felt small, humiliated, deceived. She didn't return the next night. Or the one after. Daniel was devastated. He tried to reach her, but Sophia had blocked his number. It wasn't just about him being a millionaire, it was the lie, the silence. She'd bared her soul to someone who had never even told her his full name. Weeks passed. She focused on her final nursing exams, throwing herself into study and work. But her heart was never quite the same. Then, one morning, during her hospital internship, she was assigned a new patient. Room 312, post-surgical observation. When she walked in, her heart nearly stopped. Daniel lay there, pale but smiling the moment he saw her. "You're a hard woman to find," he said hoarsely. What are you doing here?" "I had surgery. Nothing serious. But I figured if fate wasn't going to bring us back together, I'd give it a nudge." Her eyes welled up. "You lied to me." "I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you everything. Because with you, I wasn't a CEO. I was just a man who found something real when he least expected it." Sophia looked down, unsure. "I love you, Sophia," he whispered. "Not because you took that shift. Not because you cleaned my office. But because you saw me, and you let me see you." She took a deep breath. The pain hadn't vanished, but neither had the connection. And sometimes, love requires risks, again. She sat by his bedside, took his hand gently, and whispered back, "Then let's start again." This time, with no secrets. From that day forward, they began a new chapter, two souls from very different worlds, drawn together not by status or wealth, but by quiet moments, shared truths, and a love that neither had planned for, but both were brave enough to embrace. And all because one girl took her friend's shift.